Hello, creative friends, and welcome to the Stampin' Squad. My name is Cheryl Dorsey. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Southern California. And today is Thursday, January 29th, 2026. So happy Thursday to you. This is different. I usually do my live streams on Mondays, and I did do one on Monday this week. But I've got a project that I told you about, I believe it was last week, and I wanted to go ahead and get this out to you because it's a calendar for 2026. I'm going to fix my phone just a little bit here. Okay, there we go. So it's a calendar, and I just wanted to go ahead and get it out for you. So you can make some calendars. This one is really easy, and I think you'll like it. I think you'll want to make it. So before we get started, this is my website. I hope that you will go to my website, check it out, find out a little bit about me, and you can see all my projects there, including this one. There's measurements, there's shopping list, and you can also shop on my website. So lots of things over there for you. I hope you will visit. So I see some of you starting to hop in this morning on the live. Thanks for being here with me. I know this is not our normal time together, so I didn't know if anybody would be able to jump in. So I'm glad to see that some of you are here today. That always makes it more fun. So I am going to make a calendar for you, and then I have several more that I'm going to show you, and hopefully you'll get some inspiration here. As I said, this is very simple. You can easily make these. So let's do some measuring. This is a piece of gorgeous grape cardstock, and it is 4 1/4 by 11 inches. So it's just half a piece of cardstock. All right. And I've already scored it in the middle here at 5 1/2. I've got another piece of gorgeous grape. This one is 4 1/4. Yes, 4 1/4 inches by 4 1/2 inches. Then I've got a piece of this beautiful perennial lavender designer series paper. And it is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Then I've got a piece of Lost Lagoon cardstock. It is 2 1/2 inches by 3 1/4. And then I've just got some scraps over here. I have a scrap of basic white and a scrap of the gorgeous grape. So, as I said, this is very easy. If you can make a card, you can make this calendar. I do want to start with a little bit of scoring. So I'm going to grab my scoreboard. Let me get it up here where you can see what's happening. There we go. So here's my piece of gorgeous grape, and I want to lay it up here. So I've got the 4 1/2 inch side along the top. All right. And I'm going to make 3 score lines. The first one is at 3/4 of an inch. Next, 2 1/4 inches. And the last one is 3 3/4 inches. There we go. That's it. And if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay, leave me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. I want to say hi to you. Okay, so here's my big piece of gorgeous grape. I already had that scored. So I'm just folding it, and let's burnish with the bone folder. There we are. And now I'm going to take my designer series paper and just adhere it on the front. I've got a brand new glue here, so try to be careful and not squeeze too hard. I just want to run a really little narrow bead kind of near the edge. Don't want to use too much of that glue. A little bit is enough because it's super strong. So let's see if I can get that in there straight. I'll press it down. And if you are watching live, could you please just let me know if you can hear me? Just once in a while, something happens and there is no sound, which is not good. Oh, okay. There you are. I see some of you popping in, so I'm going to assume that you can hear me. All right, let me say hi to who's here. Hilda is here. Hi, Hilda and Tony. Wonderful. I know this designer series paper is so beautiful. They carried it over from last year, so it is in our annual catalog this year. So this paper is still available, and I need to buy another package before we get to the end of the catalog period because I want to have plenty to carry forward. Okay, let me just tell you what I did here. So I made those 3 score lines just a minute ago. So I just folded on the middle one. Then I'm going to fold the opposite direction on these 2 on either end. And I will show you what that looks like. Hold on just a second. Okay, so once I have folded and burnished, I have this. So it looks kind of like a W. Now, this is going to go inside my folded card. And these 2 points right here are going to point to the bottom of the card. And this one in the middle is going to be inside, pointing up to the top of the card. So I'm going to take it like this and just put it inside like this. That is how it is going to fit in here. Okay. So I'm going to close it. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to close it and I'm going to hold on to this little piece that's going to attach to the front of my card. And now I'm going to open my card, lay it down. I'm going to open this up. There we go. And I know this needs to lay on this little strip right here. So let's grab some glue. You could use a different adhesive here if you wanted to. Some tear and tape, or maybe some Seal Plus. There we go. Now I'm going to lay this on here and I'm going to push it right up against my score line. And we're just pressing, press, to let that kind of start to dry a little bit and stick together. Now I'm going to take this piece of Lost Lagoon and it's going to go right here near the bottom of that designer series paper. And my brand new glue doesn't want to come out. Hold on. I got a little piece of dry something in there. Okay, here we go. So silly. Oh, well, it still doesn't want to come out. Oh, there it goes. Okay, well, maybe. Here we are. Now, I'm going to put this down. And so I'm looking on the left side and the right side to try to get this in the middle, centered this direction. And, you know, many times when we do layers, we try to have the same amount of margin on all sides. But this time I'm putting it a little bit closer to the bottom here. I just want to make sure I have plenty of room up in that space to do my decorating. Okay, now I am going to flip the whole thing over like that. And I'm going to fold this up like that, just folding it right up here. Now let's grab that glue again. And I'm just going to put some on this little section down here. Like that. And I'm just kind of holding it here on the corner. And now I'm just going to fold this closed. And that's going to go right down on there. So I'm going to hold that for just a minute, press just a little bit and hold on to it. And while I'm doing that, let me see what's happening in the comments. Tina is here. Hi, Tina. Tina asking me, could you make this vertical too? So I'm not sure because the actual desk calendar is going to be vertical. So I'm not sure if that's what you're asking. You're asking me something else. If you're asking me something else, ask me again. But it is going to sit like this. So the calendar, the desk calendar is going to be vertical. All right. So we've got that together. I'm just going to let that sit for a few minutes, and we need some stamping because that's what we are all about, right? We're all about stamping. And with the version that I'm showing you right now, I'm just trying to keep things simple. But once you see it all put together, I know you're going to get some ideas, and I am going to show you some other samples of ways to dress it up more. This is my pretty peacock stamp pad. And I am using a stamp that says Make a Wish. This is from a retired stamp set called Hooray for Surprises. And I just love the stamps, the sentiments in that stamp set. So I'm going to use Make a Wish. And I'm just going to stamp that down here. All right. Now, let's move that ink out of the way. I've got a couple of punches here. Got my 1 3/4 and my 2-inch punch. Both of those are still available. Those are on the website. So if you don't have one of those or both of them, you can still get them. You know, Stampin' Up! Has different sizes of punches at different times. And so when they have a circle punch, I always buy it just so I can collect a lot of different sizes. They're great for layering and nesting together. So I'm just putting this in here and we're going to punch that out. I love punches because they're just so quick and easy. I mean, die cuts are wonderful and you could definitely use die cuts on your calendar, but sometimes quick and easy is the way I want to go. So here's the 2-inch. I'm just going to cut out a circle from this gorgeous grape. There we go. And we can set that aside. Now, let's layer up here. That's not what I need. Hold on. I'm just going to grab an old scrap here and spread that out. Because I don't need a big blob of glue. There we go. And now I'm just going to scooch it around a little bit to make sure I'm getting it pretty centered anyway. There we go. And now I think I need some dimensionals. So I'm just going to choose 3 and put those on here. Let's get the backing off. And let's see, I think I'm going to kind of put this here. So it's not right in the center. I am going to like kind of be a little bit whimsical, I guess, and not make it straight up and down like that. Let's put it here. It's shifted this way a little bit because I'm going to add some embellishments. And how much is too much to tilt it? Let's just go with that. Okay, now I'm going to use these purple shimmer, are they called gems? Yes, purple fine shimmer gems. And let's put a few of those on here just to bling it up a little bit. Bling it up. And I'm going to use, let's take this one, and I'm just going to kind of put it right up here. There we go. And then we'll put a couple more down here. And let's get a little one. Okay, now we need a calendar. We need a calendar. So this is a little mini tear-off calendar. You can find them at Tailored Expressions, and I put a link for you in the description below this video. So you can order those there. They're not expensive. What I have already done is I put some tear and tape, 3 strips on the back of this. So now I just need to pull the backing off of those. And I did want to tell you guys, last year I made a little desk calendar, and it was a little bit different because it did have on the base, there was a place to put some sticky notes, a little pad of sticky notes. So I also put the link for that video down in the description. So if you're looking for one where you can also include some sticky notes, check down in the description for that link. And I'm going to go ahead and tear off this cover so we can see January. Here we are. Now, let's look at it from the side. That's what it looks like from the side. And so we can just set it up like that. And I think it's so cute. It's just a little calendar. It doesn't take up much space at all. But sometimes, I have a big calendar, right? I have a big calendar with all the things written on it. But sometimes I just like to glance at the calendar and, maybe I'm thinking, is the second on a Tuesday or is it on a Wednesday? So sometimes I just am trying to figure out a simple answer to a question like that. And so having this in my work area helps me a lot, kind of helps me know what day it is. So there's that. Let me check your comments and then I'll show you some more examples. Let's see. Oh, Tina, horizontal. Yes, I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't make this horizontal. You just make a horizontal card. Like this is a vertical card. You make a horizontal one, and then you'd cut this to fit along this edge, and it could stand up as a horizontal one. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Tina, yes, you are. I mean, not Tina, I'm sorry. Tony, yes, you're saying you could put it in an envelope. Yeah, because this is the size of a card base. This will fit in our regular envelopes. You could mail this as long as you don't get too carried away with embellishing and making it fancy. You can mail this easily. Okay, let's look at some more. I always love showing you guys more and more and more. So A lot of these papers are retired. So you don't have to use something current. I know. I know a lot of you are like me. You're a paper hound and you've got scads of paper. So grab whatever paper you like and make one. So here we go. There's a cutie. This was one, I don't remember the name of the paper, but it had punch outs. And so there's one of the little punch outs I just stuck on there. Super cute. I love this one. Remember Latte Love? So for all the coffee drinkers, here's another one with this same paper. It's a little different. I took another piece of the paper for this little banner and then just put a couple little embellishments on there. I used a punch that had a scallop for that one. Okay, how about this one? Let's put it here. Remember the tools? So I pulled out that paper. So this one would be great for somebody who's a handy person, right? That could be a man or a woman, but somebody that likes to fix things and make things. I love this little ruler on the front. Then how about this? This one's very girly, girly, girly. All the pinks and this little bow right here. Then this is a paper that retired a long time ago with the little bees. So I stamped, let me hold this up so you can see. I stamped a flower on here. That was the spotlight on nature. So that's just kind of in the background. And then I put several of these little, they were called champagne rhinestones on there. And what else? How about this? This one's bright and cheerful. And I just used regular basic rhinestones on that one. I got one more. This one. Remember the storybook? I think it was Storybook Moments. That's where that strawberry paper came from. And again, there were little punch outs with that paper. So let's move everything down a little bit. And I can put this one down at the end. There we go. I think everything is pretty much in the frame. So I guess my point is the options are endless, absolutely endless. And so I've made these, I've made probably another 8. And I've got a stack of things already cut to make another 5 or 6 after that. So I am making a bunch of calendars and I'm going to be giving those away. And I'm excited to do that. Let's see. Yeah, Tony. I know. It's once I got started, I could not stop. I just could not stop because there's nothing about that that's hard, but it is fun trying to decide how you're going to decorate it and make it special. So I find them really, really fun to make. Hi, Rhonda. Tina, you guys, I'm glad you like them. I'm glad you like them. And I really, really, really hope that you will make some. So if you have friends that are crafty, let them know about this video. Um, I would like for everyone in the world to have one of these on their desk. They're just so cute. So thank you very much for joining me on a Thursday. And I'll be back on Monday, our regular day at 4 p.m. Pacific time with another tutorial. And you know what? I think on Monday we might make a Valentine treat because Valentine's Day is coming. All right. Thanks again for being on here with me this morning. If you're watching the replay, leave me a message so I can say hi. Thank you. We'll see you again on Monday. Bye bye.